What's up, Jetheads, and welcome to episode number 17 of Vinny and the Jets. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Before we get into the negativity of today's video, I just want to wish all of my viewers out there, guys, a very Merry Christmas this week. Happy holidays to all. I hope you guys are all home and safe with your families. So, let's get into it. We all know what happened this weekend. The New York Jets actually pulled off a win in Los Angeles against the Rams on the road. 23-20 final score. You could just tell from my tone how pissed off that I am. I'm not going to even break down this game. I'm not. I give the Jets credit in the aspect of they won the game convincingly from pillar to post in every single aspect of the game. Offense, defense, and special teams. The Rams fell into the trap game. And of the 3 games that the Jets had left, between the Rams, the Browns, and then to close the season against the Patriots, this was the one game of the 3 that I thought was a total lock. The game opened up with a 13.5-point spread. I even laid the points in my prediction. I said, there's no chance that we're going to hang with these guys. The Jets always have sucked historically on the West Coast. Always. By the time we reached game time, Vegas increased the line to 17.5. This wasn't supposed to be a game. So the only people who won out of this outcome were the bookies. The bookies won on all this big time because absolutely nobody took the points on this. Nobody with a 30th ranked defense. It's a joke. And with this win, the bulk of this video is going to be about the disaster that this franchise has caused itself, where you've set yourself back from being position number 1 in the draft to position number 2, which is light years apart in terms of value. Not only do you destroy your chances, not completely, but we'll get into our miracle scenario later, but you could forget at this moment about Trevor Lawrence. Because there's no way in hell the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to trade away the pick for Trevor Lawrence. You could put 10 first-round picks on the table. They will not trade the pick. It's just not going to happen. I mean, a small glimmer of hope is Doug Marrone recently told the media the last 2 games of the year, they're going to play to win, which I hope that's the truth. Because their last 2 games are this coming weekend, they're home against the Chicago Bears. We'll see what happens. And then they close on the road against the Indianapolis Colts, which coincidentally, that's the one team they beat at the beginning of this year. And they've lost ever since. If you think they're going to, it's just, what do you want me to say? You're putting your eggs into the basket hoping the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win a game this year. The thing that really is just aggravating with the whole situation is both teams can finish 1-15, and the tiebreaker is the strength of schedule. And as I have it written down right here, the Jets are .598, the Jags are .556. So the way they shake that out is if you suck worse than the combination of the teams that you're playing up against, you get the pick, which I think is total bullshit. And the reason I think it's total bullshit, if you just look the way these 2 teams have played, the Jags have come to play every single week from what I've seen when I turn on Red Zone. The Jets don't come to play, with the exception of last week. Because I think if you lined up the New York Jets against the Jacksonville Jaguars 100 times on Sunday, 99 of the times the Jags are going to knock them on their ass. Am I saying anything wrong? Just hope and pray. Root for the Jaguars for the next 2 weeks. See what happens. I mean, just a mess. I mean, they're comparing this kid to Andrew Luck and before that John Elway. A monumental talent. And the thing that really is even more just aggravating, and I know I'm using that word to death, having that number 1 pick, that's your number 1 bargaining chip in terms of getting the right head coach here. So the way things stand right now, Pat Fitzgerald, Bill Cowher, Matt Campbell's of the world, out the window. You could forget it. They're not coming now. Now you're looking at 2nd and 3rd tier coaches. So we're talking the next hot-handed coordinator who's never called a play as a head coach, never built a team, never gone through a draft, never gone through free agency, and they're going to get on-the-job training while they're trying to develop the next quarterback, if there is a next quarterback. So what do? Because now, at this number 2 pick, you got a big decision you got to make. Do you go with Justin Fields? I wouldn't. Did you see the game he played last week with the multiple interceptions? What Ohio State quarterback, really panned out in the pros? I mean, what are we looking at? Dwayne Haskins? I'll be honest. I want no part of Justin Fields. No way. I think I'd rather roll it back with Sam. Trade back, get more picks or established players, and try to rebuild around him. Give it another year or two. Exercise the fifth-year option, which you're going to have to, and you got to pay him $25 million. It's not a bag of peanuts. With the way the salary cap is going to go down considerably, you got to put so much of your cap into him, and you don't know if he's the guy at this point. You don't. And then what are we going to do? We're going to get on the hamster wheel, start spinning again, and say, okay, now we got to rebuild again. I'm tired of rebuilding. I'm tired of it. This whole past decade they've been rebuilding. I mean, furthermore, when Parcells left in 99 or 2000, whenever the hell it was, when he stepped down, and he had the 4 first-round picks between trading Keyshawn and letting go of Belichick, the foundation he laid in place, the team was competitive for that decade. Did they win the Super Bowl? No. But look at the playoff run that they had. They were there in 01, 02, 04, 06, the 2 championship games in 09 and 10. It's just like, yeah, they weren't, back-to-back all the time, but every couple of years you have something to get excited about. Furthermore, the last 10 years, they've sucked. And I'm just tired of picking in the top 5, the top 10, and then they're on the team 3 years, 4 years, and they say, oh, we don't want to pay you. Trade the guy. We'll take another pick. This is what I mean by this hamster wheel. Over and over and over. Or do you stay at number 2 and take the tackle from Oregon, and I think his last name is Sewell? I'm not a draft analyst. I'm a fan just like you guys, but I like that. But the thing is, are you really taking a right tackle at number 2 overall on the board? It seems like you're overdrafting. I mean, I got people telling me, oh, you got to talk up Zach Wilson, or, he's got a good arm, but he's 6'3", and BYU, I mean, for BYU quarterbacks, unless his name is Steve Young, I don't know if I want to get this kid either. I mean, I think I'd rather just kick the tires on Sam again. You know what you have with him, otherwise you're taking a shot in the dark. And then what are we doing? Are we taking a shot in the dark with another rookie quarterback who's the 2nd or 3rd best prospect in the draft with a rookie coach? Because no established coach is coming now unless something happens with the Jaguars and a miracle they pull either this weekend or the following weekend. This is what it is, and this sucks. It's terrible. Yeah, I wish I had something more positive to say, but I just feel like this is the same thing over and over. And I don't want to be told to preach patience. I don't want to be told to trust the process. I'm tired. At 34, and I've been a fan since 1997. 23 years of my life I've invested into this. I'm tired. And I'm getting more old and more bitter about this. I mean, I just want to win. Is it so much to ask when you see all the other teams in the league that had curses be broken? The Kansas City Chiefs just won their first Super Bowl in 50-plus years. Why can't we? Why? You need to have established coaches, and you got to have somebody in the building that knows what the heck they're doing. That's why the whole Bill Cowher thing was so appealing. You're going to know who the boss is in the building when Bill Cowher steps in there. But if you think he's coming here with a number 2 overall pick and Trevor Lawrence isn't walking through the door, you can forget about it. I mean, what else do we want to talk about? I mean, like I said, I'm not breaking down this game. I'm not. That's how pissed off I am. They won convincingly. It's not like they won on some bullshit call. They kicked their ass the whole game. McVay, you should be ashamed of yourself, and I think Jared Goff is a piece of shit. I mean, what a phony. Total phony. Not a good head coach, and everybody's using him as the example that, oh, we need to do our best to find the next Sean McVay. What did he do? Yeah, he got that team to the Super Bowl. Did they win? Give me a break. And furthermore, now, to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, now, they're celebrating in the city of Jacksonville. The mayor of Jacksonville issued out a tweet just to celebrate the fact of thanking the Jets, the New York freaking Jets, for giving us this gift right before Christmas. Blah, 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 blah. Can I ask you something? The amount of the character assassination against our franchise for the past 3 months with them losing and losing and losing of Oh, why would anyone want to go there? Is there a possibility that Trevor Lawrence would spurn the Jets? Would he pull an Eli and refuse to play there? Okay, things have changed. We don't have the number one pick. Why is there no character assassination against the Jacksonville Jaguars? Somebody explain that to me. Somebody explain it, because I want to know what quarterback did they develop. I'm not dismissing or ignoring the fact that the Jets historically haven't developed a true franchise quarterback since Joe Namath. That's a fact. I'm not going to, fight anybody on that. But what about the Jaguars? Byron Leftwich, anyone? David Garrard? How about Blake Bortles? Any of them going to the Hall of Fame? Any of them? We're talking about a franchise that when you turn them on, historically, the tarps are covered on the upper deck of their stadium because they can't sell tickets. We're talking about a team that leads the league in blackouts on games because they just don't air them. Nobody's watching. And how about the fact that every time they talk about moving a team to London, they're always the team in the mix? Does anybody want to go play football in Jacksonville? Does anybody give a shit about football in the city of Jacksonville, Florida? What's the appeal down there other than there's no state income tax for the player? But other than that, you're going to be a millionaire. How much more do you really need? The way you can market yourself in New York City, it's not even close. It's not even close. Nobody cares about the Jaguars. Nobody cares. I'm surprised they haven't gotten the heck out of there and try to give a franchise again to St. Louis or San Diego or Oakland or one of these cities that lost out. But Jacksonville has done nothing since their existence in '96. Unreal. I mean, just the media is pure nasty. I mean, it's just like they get off the fact that we fail and that's what sells newspapers and that's clickbait of how we fucked up again. That's what's good for their all their clicks and all their views of how we can make the Jets a sideshow again. There's nothing being said about these guys. They've sucked for ever since they lost that conference title game against the Patriots. What have they done? They've done nothing. Nobody cares. And furthermore, after the game is over, I mean, you got people like Mekhi Becton coming out and calling out fans, him and McGovern, saying things like, well, if you were rooting against us, you're not a true fan. Listen, meatball with legs, don't tell me how to be a fan, because I've invested in this more than you've been on this earth, okay? Don't tell me how to be a fan, because I was looking at the bigger picture of what's good for this franchise. What was good for this franchise was the first overall pick. What was better for the franchise for tomorrow was Trevor Lawrence. So when you don't have the right guy that you're blocking for next year, you can reference this game where we got fucked in the worst way. So don't tell me how I'm supposed to root. I don't take pride in rooting against my team every single week in a horrible situation like this. I really don't. But for better skies ahead and going forward, the best thing to do was to tank the whole season and get the best prospect ever to come here to save the franchise. And then you got that other asshole in Adam Gase saying, thank God we had our Hall of Fame running back in there to get us through it. This son of a bitch, like I really want to just strangle him. I can't stand him. I really can't stand him. The mistake this franchise made, and you can't tell me that people don't tank in the world of sports. It's not just the NFL. Everybody tanks. The mistake they made is weeks ago they should have fired Adam Gase. Picked Greg Williams or Bush or somebody else to be the interim head coach, and the general manager and the owner, if they knew that they had to target Trevor Lawrence, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. If you knew you had to target them, you instruct them, listen, we're benching Perryman, we're benching Darnold, we're benching Gore, we're shutting everything down, play the third team. Play the second and the third team the rest of the way, and we have to evaluate. That's how you clean it up. I'll give you two examples of that. In the NFL, the year that Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota came out, in the last game of the year, Tampa was playing, I forgot, God knows who, and they were winning at halftime. Meaningless game. Second half rolls out, they put in the whole second team, and they lost the game. I wonder why, because they wanted Jameis Winston. It was blatantly obvious, but there's no way to police it. I'm not hating on them for it. They wanted the best prospect. Did it work it out? No. I mean, it didn't, but they succeeded in getting what they wanted. Here's another example. NBA, you remember the year David Robinson got hurt and everything went to shit with them? Well, what did they do? They played all the youngsters, and what did it end up getting them? Tim Duncan. The rest is history. Granted, the NBA is different where you could ride one pony all the way to the finals, but what I'm trying to say here is tanking is a real thing that you can't control, and everybody does it. Now, can you tell players and coaches to lose on purpose? No, you can't. But you could step in and, help push the envelope, so to speak. So that's my take on this. It's just a mess. I never saw this coming in a million. My fear was I was worried about the Patriot game that Bill was going to do it to us to prevent us landing Lawrence going into the game at 0-15. In my wildest dreams, I didn't see them beating the LA Rams. I just didn't. Like I said, the only people that won this past week were the bookies. So, speaking of game picks, let's run through this really quick because I want to get ready for the holidays. Just to review, last week we went 5, 8, and 2. 2 pushes actually in the same week. Overall in the season, 104, 110, and 3. And my lock got busted last week with the Monday Nighter with Pittsburgh, but 9 and 6 on the season. So let's roll through this really quick. Christmas Day, we actually have a game. The Minnesota Vikings are visiting the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are -7 at home. I expect the Vikings to keep it close. I don't think they win on the field, but I think Dalvin Cook shows up big time and they keep it close. So I expect Minnesota to cover this one. So I take the 7 points and I bet the Vikings. Christmas Day, take it. Next one. Excuse me. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are -9.5 visiting the Detroit Lions. The Lions are the Lions, and they screwed me up last week, so I'm going to lay the points here. I think Tom Brady and company can beat them by double digits, so take the Bucs -9.5. Next one, lock of the week. San Francisco 49ers are at the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona's at home -5. San Fran is hurting all over the field, offense, defense, so many injuries. Quarterback play is just atrocious, probably one of the worst in the league. I take the Cards easy on this one, lay the 5. I see them winning by a touchdown, maybe more. Next game, Miami Dolphins are at the Las Vegas Raiders. I feel confident that Miami is going to win this one easy. I actually thought I was going to make this my lock of the week. I want to make sure that they, go ahead and lock in the wild card, and just the way Gruden is running the Raiders, it's not good. So take the fish, -3. Our game, the Cleveland Browns are visiting the New York Football Jets. The Jets are getting 9.5 at home. I think the Jets are going to come back down to earth after that win. Baker and company now see an opportunity to try to make a run at the division with the Steelers just constantly plummeting. We'll get to them in a minute. But I feel confident that the Browns blow it up on the Jets. So take the Browns -9.5. Next one, Cincinnati Bengals at the Houston Texans. Cincinnati really impressed me on Monday night. I did not see that coming. I mean, they kicked the Steelers' ass top to bottom. I mean, unbelievable performance. I think they also have to come down to earth. I find it very hard to believe they could do that twice in a row. So I would take the Texans -8. Next game, speaking of those Steelers, the Colts are visiting the Steelers. -2.5. Pitts at home. I think they need to rebound. I don't see them losing 4 games in a row. I think they make it a point to get the job done. I think the Steelers win this and it goes to overtime. So bet the Steelers -2.5. Next one, the game that we're all going to be tuned in on, especially if you have, the NFL package or Red Zone. The Chicago Bears are visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars, and in my opinion, this is the game that the Jags have the best chance to win before the season's over. Jags are +7.5. I'm taking the 7.5. I don't know if they can win on the field, but I think they definitely keep it close, especially if Minshew's still the quarterback. Jags +7.5. Next one, Carolina Panthers are at the Washington Football Team. Carolina's +2.5. I just like the job that Matt Rhule has been doing down there. I think the Panthers are going to be a team to be reckoned with in the next year or two. So take the Panthers and take the 2.5. Next one, New York Football Giants, who let me down big time last week against the Browns. I actually thought they would put up a fight, and I didn't realize just how bad of a quarterback Colt McCoy truly is. Another reason why I can't stand them. So in this case, when they visit the Baltimore Ravens and the Ravens are -11 at home, I'll lay the 11 because I hope the Ravens blast them. Ravens, and I could see this game being I can see it getting away and getting ugly. So I think Ravens 28 to 10. Ravens -11. Next one, Atlanta Falcons at the Kansas City Chiefs. We still don't know the status of Julio Jones. He's actually on my fantasy team, so I'm hoping to God going into my final that he plays. The Chiefs are minus 10.5. I think it's a lot. I mean, granted, the Chiefs have a high-flying offense, very high-powered, but I still feel comfortable taking the Falcons, especially if Julio plays. Check your fantasy rosters on that one, because if he plays, I think they can keep it close. I would take the points in this instance. So Falcons plus 10.5. Next one, we have the Denver Broncos at the LA Chargers. This one is a toss-up for me. I think it comes down to who's got the better quarterback in a quarterback-driven league. You got Drew Lock on the road on one side, or you got Justin Herbert, who I think is the Rookie of the Year, at home on the other side. My money's on Herbert. LA Chargers, minus 3. Next game, sticking in LA, is the LA Rams are visiting the Seattle Seahawks. This one's going to be a barn burner, basically a pick-em. Seattle is minus 1.5. I like Seattle. I want to go with them. With the piss-poor performance that the Rams did against the Jets last week, they are not a contender. The Super Bowl champions or true playoff contenders, they don't let trap games like that happen. They probably will squeak into the playoffs, but I fully expect them to be one and done. So take the Seahawks minus the 1.5. Philadelphia Eagles are visiting the Dallas Cowboys. Another toss-up. Philly at Dallas. I think Philly's a mess right now with their QB controversy. I think Dallas has something going right now, going to close the season. So I like Dallas. Take Dallas plus 1.5. Sunday Night Football, Tennessee Titans at the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay's been on a roll for me. I'm very comfortable in continuing to keep picking them, and I really wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay represents the NFC in February. So with that being said, I like Tennessee, minus 3.5. I think they win by a score. And then we close out with Monday Night Football. The shocking Buffalo Bills are visiting the New England Patriots. Patriots are getting 7 at home. The Bills are the Cinderella team of the story. You know, I'm not a Bills fan at all. They're my team's rival. But you know what? Good for them. Congratulations. I know what that feeling is when you have that type of special season. I honestly think if they can get by KC, I wouldn't be shocked to see them in the Super Bowl. So you know what, guys? Go win it. But for this game, point spread taken here, I like the Pats. And I like the Pats to cover, not to win. But I would take the 7 points, and I think it's a fight to the finish. New England plus 7. So that's my podcast for this week, guys. I'm just going to conclude with, once again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I hope, things get better for us going forward. Just got to pray for a Christmas miracle, I guess. So the only other thing I'll say is go Jaguars. Go Jaguars this week and bring it home for us. I pray to God. So I'll talk to you guys next week. Enjoy.